drill 6. I'm gonna grab Michael's sleeves with this 4-finger grip. And Professor Jackson showed this once and I really liked it. If you can make a grip that leaves a little pocket for your fingers, you know you're doing it well. So I grab here and I pull both of Michael's arms up like I'm starting 2 chainsaws at one time, and I trap next to my neck and I engulf. Now really I only need one arm because I'm only gonna attack one arm, but this gets him off balance and it gives me options. When I pull and I trap, I'm gonna pinch, I'm gonna decide which arm I'm going to attack. For me it's gonna be this one. So I'm gonna put that same foot on his hip. I don't wanna keep my knees wide like this, I wanna keep pinching. So as I release and come up, I pinch. Then I'm gonna slide this leg up his ribs and point. When I do this, I'm pushing him that way and pivoting my head around this direction. You can hear my gi slide on the mats right there, right? Listen for it again. That's getting me perpendicular, looking down his ear canal here. That's how I know I'm doing it right. If I get over here and I'm like all twisty like this isn't what I want. I need to be flat on my back, okay? So I'm here, slide up his gi here, you can hear that sound too. I point my toes extreme like this way, and then I pivot myself over, okay? Still keeping this bottom arm the whole time. Another thing I see, especially with kids, is I see this arm migrating. If this happens, he just pulls his arm out and I don't have the submission anymore. I'm breaking his posture, but I don't have the arm, right? So I'm here, pinch, slide up, point my toes. You see they're pointing out the top of his head, and I'm looking down his ear canal. So now I'm perpendicular with him. I can now throw my thigh over his face. If I'm still at a weird angle like this, and I can't throw my thigh over his face, it's my calf, I just use my foot to shrimp, get flat on the back, and then I can throw my thigh over his face. Now I have this hand here to armbar, or, and even better, I can scoop underneath this leg and I have his posture, and I can still armbar, and if for some reason he's driving into me, I can use it to flip him over and get a more traditional armbar right here. Okay? Now, that's the first part. Then we reset. Because I let go of the arm I'm not attacking, it is actually still a viable defense. So I'm here, I dive under, I point my toes, I'm pivoting. As I throw my thigh to go over his face, he takes this arm and pushes my leg away. So I don't have that. So I can't come up, but I have all the other directions. So I'm gonna kick down and punch up with this arm at the same time. This gives me the pendulum sweep. Come back up for me, coach. Quickly, it looks like he's pushing. It looks like this, right? And I come up to mount. Very effective. I use this a lot. I see this used a lot, and I also use this sweep a lot. It is a form of a pendulum sweep. Now that I've swept him, I still have this sleeve. I never let go of that. I'm gonna reach across and over his arm. You notice that he's got the same position on me. I'm reaching for his tricep. He could grab my tricep too. He doesn't. He probably won't, but he could. So I'm gonna pull up, but I need to get power. So the opposite foot, I post on this. I do a big pull up, putting Michael on his side, and then I bring my back knee behind his head, okay? Never letting go of the gi. So I pull, step up, drive my knee behind him. You notice that my foot goes from facing back to facing forward. I'm leaning on Michael's guts right now, mainly on his hip. Is this uncomfortable? No. I'm mostly on his hip. So I'm gonna do it one more time. Grab, pull as I post, pull it, really guiding his arm, bring my head, my leg behind his head. Now that I'm there, I want to throw my leg over for an arm bar, but he can just sit up. He can sit up right now, and I didn't maintain the position I needed to arm bar him. So for that reason, before I attack the arm bar, can you sit up right now? I have him locked. I push his face. Now can you sit up? No. I step over. I fall back. I have the arm bar. Another option, instead of pushing the face, I still maintain the grip here on his sleeve, go over. As I pull up, I post on this outside foot, and I tuck it underneath his armpit, bring my knee to the back of his head. Instead of pushing his face, I can slice underneath his throat, right here. Is that uncomfortable? Then I can make my ballerina toes come across. Notice that as I'm pushing or slicing, I'm really heavy on this side, allowing this foot to be really light. If I'm heavy here, this foot is gonna have a harder time getting over, and he's gonna have more opportunities. But as I lean and I push or I slice, that foot becomes light. Now I fall back. I wanna make sure I don't give any space between my groin and his arm. I wanna stay nice and tight. And I prefer, if you guys are to choke
In fact, hold on to this so don't snap your arm back too far. I prefer that you guys choke the arm as opposed to hold here. Choke it, fall back, right? All this is really tight. Does this feel tight, Michael?
Oh, yeah.
It's very tight and harder for him to stop. If I'm here, he's got a little bit more room to play with than here, okay? Then I fall back, I arch up, and he's about to tap. I don't need to finish the armbar every time I'm practicing on my opponent, right, on my training partner. So now I'm gonna let go of his arm. The fast motion of what I do is I windmill myself up to mount. The slow motion version of that, to make sure that you're doing it right, is I just finish the armbar, I release it, I put my feet next to his, and then I step over with my outside foot. That's the motion I'm doing. You can go fast and just windmill there to practice more efficient movement, but just to make sure you're practicing the right movement, legs by his side, step over with the far leg, okay? Now, when we started this drill, I started with Michael in my guard so I could attack the armbar. So he needs to end up in the same spot. So what do we need to do to get back there? He needs to elbow escape, right? There's no UPA. If we did an UPA, he'd be back in my guard again. So he needs to elbow escape, same as we did in the previous drill. Elbow down, creating a constant contact all the way through here. He turns far on his side. When he gets far on his side, he makes me heavy on this leg. Makes that leg light. He moves that leg out of the way with his butt, brings his bottom knee in here, and starts to recover guard on this first leg. Then he pushes on this side, recovers full guard. Cool? Now we're at the same spot that we were in the beginning, except in reverse. My hands are here. He grabs my gi with a 4-finger grip, pulls up, starts attacking the armbar.